Today, if you visit Gdansk, Poland, you'll see a beautiful medieval city rebuilt after war. But most people don't know that for exactly 20 years, from 1919 to 1939, this place wasn't called Danzig and wasn't part of any country. It was the Free City of Danzig, an independent city-state, and its story explains a lot about why World War II happened. For centuries, Danzig was a German city, part of Prussia, a major port and a hub of German commerce on the Baltic Sea. But when World War I ended in 1918, Germany lost, and the winners, mainly Britain and France, had to redraw the map of Europe. At Versailles in 1919, they created a new country, Poland. But Poland had a problem. It was landlocked. It had no access to the sea. How could a country survive without a port? So the winners decided Poland needs the coastline. But Danzig was German. Every person there spoke German. It had been German for 400 years. So they came up with a compromise that seemed clever at the time. They'd make Danzig independent. Not German, not Polish. Its own thing, a free city. Run by its own government, protected by the League of Nations. Poland would control its foreign policy, but Danzig would have autonomy. The problem? This created something bizarre. Danzig became surrounded on three sides by Germany. The only way Poland could reach the sea was through this narrow strip of land called the Polish Corridor. It was like taking scissors and cutting Germany in half. Germany hated it, Poland needed it, and Danzig was stuck in the middle. When the Free City was established in 1920, it had about 380,000 people. Almost all of them were German. They had their own government, their own president, their own senate. They had their own currency, the Danzig guilder. They even had their own stamps. For a brief moment, this seemed to actually work. The 1920s were good years. The harbor was busy. Trade was flowing. The city invested in infrastructure. There was prosperity. A League of Nations commissioner was stationed there to keep the peace between Danzig and Poland, but most of the time, things were stable. The Free City even had a unique position. It could negotiate its own trade deals. It could set its own taxes. In some ways, it had more autonomy than regular cities. It was an odd little experiment in political independence, but the whole thing was built on a foundation of wishful thinking. Danzig was German, but not Germany. It was a port for Poland, but not Polish. These contradictions didn't matter as long as times were good. But what happens when times get bad? In 1929, the global economy collapsed. The Great Depression hit everywhere, but it hit port cities like Danzig especially hard. Trade dried up, ships stopped coming, people lost their jobs. By the early 1930s, unemployment in Danzig was brutal. When people are desperate and poor, they look for someone to blame. They look for simple answers. And in the early 1930s, a political party in Germany was offering exactly that. Simple answers and someone to blame.
Kennst du die Stadt am Bernsteinstrand, umblüht von Felder blau, wo schlanke Liebe schrieben, empor zum Sonnenschein. Ja, sollt ich fröhlich leben, ja, sollt ich fröhlich leben, in Danzig, in Danzig.
The Nazi Party, led by Adolf Hitler. The Nazis said the problem was simple. Germany had been betrayed at Versailles. Germany deserved to be great again. Germany deserved to reclaim lost territory. And ethnic Germans living outside Germany People like those in Danzig were being oppressed and needed to come home to the Reich. In Danzig, this message resonated. Here was a German city, German people, but they weren't part of Germany. They felt abandoned. They felt like they belonged to something bigger. So they voted for the Nazis. In the 1930 elections, the Nazis got about 17% of the vote. In 1933, 38%. By 1935, they had won an overwhelming majority. Danzig's government became Nazi. Swastikas hung from buildings. Paramilitary groups marched in the streets. The Free City was becoming increasingly fascist and aggressive, and the League of Nations, powerless. The League's High Commissioner could make recommendations, but he had no real authority. Danzig's own elected government was Nazi. What could anyone do? By the mid-1930s, Danzig was a Nazi city in everything but name. It was only a matter of time before it became Nazi in name too. Throughout the 1930s, Hitler kept pushing. First, he openly rearmed Germany, which violated the Treaty of Versailles. No one stopped him. Then he remilitarized the Rhineland. Still, no one stopped him. Then he annexed Austria in 1938. Still nothing. Then he took Czechoslovakia. And still, the Western democracies just complained, but did nothing. Each time Hitler got away with something, he got bolder. He could see that nobody was willing to fight him. So he set his sights on Poland, and specifically on Danzig. In 1939, Hitler made his move. He demanded that Poland give him Danzig and allowed Germany to build a road and railway through the Polish corridor to connect Germany with East Prussia. He offered Poland compensation, territory from the Soviet Union. It was a deal designed to be refused. Poland's government, led by Colonel Joseph Beck, refused. Poland would not give up the corridor. Poland would not become a German satellite. There was no negotiation. Poland said no. Then in August 1939, Hitler did something shocking. He signed a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union, his ideological enemy. But the pact had a secret protocol. Germany and the Soviet Union would split Poland between them. Now Hitler had a clear path. No fear of a two-front war. On September 1st, 1939, at dawn, German forces attacked Poland from the west. The invasion began. The Second World War had started, and Danzig was one of the first places to fall. The Nazi government of Danzig simply declared union with the German Reich. No resistance, no fighting. The Free City just ceased to exist. 20 years of independence, gone in a day. What followed was catastrophic. The Second World War lasted 6 years and killed over 50 million people. Danzig itself was heavily bombed and damaged. Much of the historic old city, medieval building centuries old, was destroyed. When the war ended in 1945, Germany was defeated and divided, and Poland was completely reshaped. The Soviet Union took Poland's eastern territories. To compensate, Poland was given German territory in the west, including Danzig. The German population of Danzig was expelled. Poles moved in. The city was rebuilt, carefully, from photographs and memory. The name changed from Danzig to Gdansk, its Polish name. A German city became Polish. For decades under communism, Gdansk remained a major Baltic port. But in the 1980s, something remarkable happened. A movement called Solidarity started in the Gdansk shipyards. Led by an electrician named Lech Wałęsa, it became the first independent trade union in the Soviet bloc. It inspired resistance across Eastern Europe and helped end communism. So a city that had been independent once, that had been suppressed by Nazis, that had been rebuilt by Poles, that had been controlled by communists, finally became truly free again. Today, Gdansk is a thriving European city. Its old town has been beautifully reconstructed. It's part of Poland and the European Union. Tourists visit to see its amber architecture and maritime history. Few of them know about the Free City. The Free City of Danzig lasted exactly 20 years. It was created as a compromise between empires. It tried to be something unique, independent, but not fully sovereign, German, but not part of Germany, serving Poland, but not Polish. It was an experiment in the impossible. But here's what the Free City teaches us. When you build something on shaky compromises, when you ignore the real forces underneath, nationalism, economic desperation, extremism, it won't survive. The Free City was erased not by force initially, but by the weight of history itself. It reminds us that peace and stability require more than clever political solutions. They require commitment to the principles underneath. And when those principles are tested by crisis and hatred, clever compromises fall apart. This was the Free City of Danzig, a place that tried to be independent for 20 years. Then, the world changed.